Hey guys, it's Kroiky and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be replacing the blower motor on my 2011 BMW 535i. I have the part right over here. I got it from ECS Tuning. Got all my tools laid out. Let me just go ahead and hop inside the car to show you guys what the problem is first, and then we're going to go ahead and get on with the replacement. Also, like about 2 weeks ago when I was driving the car, I had my phone mounted to the magnet that I use, and I had it over here on this vent. And so when I pulled my phone, the actual whole entire vent came out. So I'm going to be doing a replacement on this sometime soon. So the problem that I'm having with the car right now is when I go ahead and turn it on here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the AC, put it on full blast here, and then you'll notice that it's not going to actually blow the air after a couple seconds here. There we go, the blower motor has just cut out. You guys could hear it kind of dying down there. I have the AC set to maximum still, and now there's no air coming out. So it's going to do this kind of periodically. It's going to come in and out. So right now it just worked for a minute, and then it went away. It'll come back sometime when I'm driving. But this is a sign that the blower motor has gone bad, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that. And also when I do have it on full max, it should be blowing a little bit stronger than it just did. Alright, so my first step is going to be to disconnect the battery, which I've already pulled out this piece of the carpeting in the trunk to go ahead and get access right here to the battery. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it, and then we're going to go ahead and get started in the front there. So I actually just realized that you can take out the entire floor of the trunk, which I've gone ahead and done to give me some more space. I've taken out the negative battery terminal. I left it down there on the side, and then also going to the front of the car. I just took off the hood struts, and I'm holding up the hood right now with a rake just to give me a little bit more clearance into this area right here where I'm going to be working. Alright, so now under the hood, first thing I'm going to be doing probably is taking off these plastic clips right here. I have my plastic removal tools, and then we're going to take this little piece off and see what's underneath. Alright, so I've gone ahead and removed the cover that was up over here. I've gone ahead and laid it over here to the side, and I'm actually going to leave these little plastic bits that we pulled out. I'm going to leave them inside exactly where I pulled them out. So because this is probably one of the biggest jobs that I've done on a car, I really don't want to lose anything, so I want to make sure that I put everything back together perfectly. Alright, next thing we're going to do is remove this little aluminum brace right here. Pretty sure it's a 15 mil, so we're going to go ahead and try to remove this. Alright, the brace is out now, and I just want to say that that took way longer than I thought it would. These bolts are really, really long, and so it took maybe like 3 to 5 minutes per bolt, so definitely was not expecting that. Alright guys, and it's now at this stage that we're getting close to the blower motor. I can kind of see exactly why mine has failed. If I go ahead and shine my light down into there, you can see a whole bunch of leaves, a whole bunch of garbage just sitting down at the bottom there. I don't know how well the camera's picking all of that up, but it's pretty much all around this area here. There's a bunch of leaves, a bunch of dirt, you know, a whole ton of stuff, especially as your cowl gets bad right here. A whole bunch of stuff is going to get bad inside this area, and that's going to probably get into that blower motor and mess it up. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move this electrical little piece here. I don't think I'm going to have to disconnect anything except for this little one right here. Probably going to have to pull this up and disconnect this right here. Let that drop down so this thing can come out. I do see some Torx bits that I'm gonna have to remove, so one right here, one in the corner, and one back there. Don't exactly know how I'm gonna get there, but we'll see. I'll obviously start with the easiest one, work my way around, and yeah, let's see how this goes. Alright, so I got that tricky one out of that back corner over there, and the unit still doesn't want to move out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the layer underneath. So I'm going to get that Torx, and let's see, I think there's another one back over there. So it should be a little bit easier to get into versus the one here in the back. The one in the back here I had to kind of pull this piece of rubber to the side to get access to. And hopefully this outer unit here should come out. Alright, so I pulled the little electrical panel over to the side. Pretty much I went around and undid some of these bolts over here that were holding it down. And then the only connection that I had to undo was this little one right over here. You may have saw it. Hopefully the camera picked it up, but I undid one connection there. I've got everything organized so far that I've removed. So reassembly should be easy. I'm seeing a whole lot of dust and dirt and just leaves and garbage from, you know, this car being 10 years old all over this little cover for the blower motor. So we're getting pretty close now to it, and we're starting to see a lot more leaves and a lot more just garbage down here. Sometimes I forget that this car is 10 years old just because of how new it is to me, and you know, it's like the most luxurious car that I've ever owned. So it's crazy to think that it's, you know, from 2011. Anyways, let's keep going. We got to remove this cover right here. I think I'm just missing one more Torx bit down there, and I'll, you know, check the corners and see if I missed anything, but pretty sure I already got most of them during the last step because I wasn't sure what was still holding this down. Turns out it was that little electric connector. So let's get rid of some of these Torx right here on the side, and we'll get this little piece off. So I just thought that I was missing a screw somewhere. Turns out I wasn't. I just needed to give it a little bit of a stronger push because this thing just went poof, and loosened up a whole bunch of dirt. So we're gonna go ahead and try to pull this thing out right now and see what's next. That's right, there's one more thing that I have to disconnect, and it's this little device down here. So I'm gonna figure out how to disconnect that and then pull this box out of the way. Alright, so we've gone ahead and pulled off the cover, which has this little screen on it, as you can see. It's pretty dusty, you know, 10 years of dust, dirt, and leaves. And actually my little screen right here has gotten a hole in it, which is probably what's allowing all the leaves to get inside down there at the bottom. Now that there's more opening, it's probably easier to see. We'll just shine a light in there. You can see all the leaves down there. This is most likely what, you know, has damaged that motor, which is going to be inside all of this. So down at the bottom there, we have the blower motor, and I'm pretty sure that all this debris over time has messed it up, which is why I'm replacing it today. And I hope I don't have to mention, but I am going to be vacuuming out all of these leaves, and then later during reassembly, I'm going to try to clean this up as best as I can. I don't think I'm going to be patching this hole. You know, maybe I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot and letting this happen again, but I don't really have anything to, you know, replace this screen with, and I don't really want to go out and buy a new one. You know, this plastic piece, I imagine it's pretty expensive, so I'm going to leave it like this, just clean it up as best as I can, and replace the motor. Alright, so the last thing we have to remove here is this actual housing for the blower motor. I do see one Torx that I'm going to have to remove there, one over here. There may be one or two more in the back, so let me get my Torx screwdriver and get to it. We're going to be removing this whole box. Okay, all the screws are loosened now, which means that this whole unit should be free to move out. I've already gone ahead and loosened this little connector, which you're going to have to get out before this whole box will be able to come out. And then there's one more connector at the bottom of the piece. As I remove it, I'm going to be disconnecting the power for the blower motor. And then we should have this whole thing out. Looks like there's one more connector in the back here that's stopping me from taking this out. So let me get the flashlight, see where that pin is that I have to disconnect. The unit is out of the car now. That was a little bit more painful than I expected. This one right here, this last connector on the left, I think that's the power connector, but that was a total bitch. Just didn't want to get out. It was giving me a hard time. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some of this stuff right here, all the leaves that are back there. and then we're gonna work on disassembling this unit and then replacing the motor inside. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do to this assembly is try to kind of take the top off. So we're gonna split it into two. There's a couple of T15s that hold down the top onto the bottom portion. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those. Actually, inside right there, you can kind of see where that blower motor is. So we're trying to get access into that. So we're gonna remove this top part first, and then I'll check back then. All right, so 4 screws later, this top piece right here will come off. I'm pretty much just gonna hang it down like this. I'm trying to disconnect as little things as possible. Even though, you know, everything's disconnected right now, I could probably just disconnect this. I'd rather not, just because it's pretty simple from here. We're gonna take off this next piece, which should just come right off. It's kind of hard to do this all with just one hand. All right, set that to the side too. And time to replace this blower motor. All right, so the last step is going to be to split this little piece right here in half. So there's 4 more screws right here to undo. I think they're also T15s. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this piece should split into 2, and we can take out the motor. All right, so there it is. We are on the blower motor now. If I go ahead and lift this up, you can see it's still plugged in right over there. So when I swap it out, I'm going to disconnect that one and plug in the new one, and the new one should come with a plug. Let's go ahead and unbox the new one that we have from ECS Tuning. I did get the, I think it's called the Male brand, or Molly, I don't know if I'm saying it right. The original one is the Bear brand. Bayer, whatever, however you say it in German, but both of them are original BMW part suppliers. So even though I'm switching from the Bayer part to the Male or Male, then they're still both original BMW, you know, parts. They're suppliers for BMW. All right, inside this box right here is the part that I have from them, and then they also gave me one of these license plate frames. They gave me one when I did my my trunk springs, but now I'm gonna have one for the other side of the car also. So let's go ahead and open this up, switch the motor out, get everything back together. The whole car's kind of in pieces right now, so I've just got parts laying around everywhere, and then a bunch of tools over here. So this is probably the most complicated job that I've done. I'm not a car mechanic or anything, I'm just an ordinary guy. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Alright, the new blower motor is in the housing, and it is plugged in right over there. I'm going to go ahead and put the second half of this little piece here on. Put those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws back on. Start reassembling everything. Alright, the unit is put back together now. Gone ahead and got all the screws in. The top is back on. You can see the new blower motor in there. Looking clean versus the old one, which is pretty dirty down there. I'm going to go ahead and start getting this into the car. Start reassembling everything. And I've already vacuumed the little leaves that were over there. So let's keep going. Start doing the reassembly. Hey everybody, so it's been a week now since I've last worked on the 5 Series, and the old blower motor that I had originally, or the blower motor that I had put in from ECS Tuning is actually a defective unit. So after I finished up that job last week, I went and started the car, and the blower motor was not working at all. So I went ahead and put the old one in right now, the original blower motor in, and you know, just to make sure that I didn't break anything along the process. It's back to doing the same thing that it was doing before, so it's still, you know, kind of going on and off and on and off. So I'm going to be shipping back the ECS unit, because I've kind of, you know, singled it out to, this is the problem. You know, since I put back the old one, it's now working like it did before. And I went ahead and got one from AutoZone. This is the 4 Seasons brand. I decided to just try, you know, a different brand, see how it goes. Maybe it's just an incompatible part. Maybe, you know, I got the parts numbers mixed up, or maybe they did send me a defective unit. I can't say for certain. The only thing that I know is that it doesn't work when it goes into my car. So we're gonna go ahead and do this thing one more time. I already have everything pretty loose. I didn't secure anything down when I was doing the testing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this one more time. Swap in the new 4 Seasons one from AutoZone, and let's pray this works. All right, everybody, I've got the new blower motor now in the car from AutoZone. I have the old one right over here. I don't know if I showed you guys this last week, but this is the old blower motor. It's a little bit dirty. You can see, not horrible. You know, it's not like all black, but it's clearly not as white as the new ones are. So I'm gonna just put that in the box there, put back everything. The only thing that I have to do is put the support brace and then the plastic cover back on, but those don't have any electric connectors. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to reconnect the battery, and we're gonna test the car to see if it works the second time around, the second week now. Hopefully this project doesn't carry on over to a third week, so fingers crossed. All right, everybody, the car is on, car is running. I have the air set to max. Very clearly, lots of air is coming out from the car now. Now I just have to wait a minute to see if it'll stop like it's been doing before. You know, if it does stop, if it does turn off here after a minute, then we are back to square one. But for now, let's just enjoy this nice air coming out of the motor, and yeah, let's wait to see. All right, it's been a few minutes now. I've tried with cold air, hot air, tried with the air conditioning on. It's working, which very happy, but honestly, thoughts after doing this project, I am really kind of glad that I did this, and glad that I kept trying and, you know, tried with a different motor instead of just kind of giving up on the project, because it's kind of taught me a little bit on how to work on my car. It's taught me a little bit about, you know, just how to get more comfortable in the engine bay here. You know, it was my first time doing a lot of the things on this side of the car, and like I said in the beginning of all this, you know, like, I am just some ordinary guy. I'm not a mechanic. I do work in the auto business, but I don't fix cars. I don't, you know, really get hands-on underneath when it comes to fixing things. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this car, keep doing, you know, things to it. I'll be recording everything, so it'll all be saved on the playlist for all the things that I'm doing to the 5 Series. And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and see you next time. Bye.